Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception is once again an action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Originally released November 1st, 2011. The story follows Nathan Drake, who partners with his mentor Victor Sullivan as they search for the legendary lost city of Aram of the Pillars, while competing with a mercenary group led by Sullivan's former employer, Catherine Marlowe. Alright, everybody, we reached the end of the Uncharted trilogy on the PS3. So far, the first two have been nothing but bangers, and I've loved them. Is the third one a dip in the franchise, or is it yet another banger in this awesome franchise? Let's find out. For starters, I gotta mention, this game is beautiful. The graphics are just so awesome, and I played this on the Nathan Drake collection for the PlayStation 4, so you're going to get 1080p, 60 frames per second, and it is gorgeous. The desert environments look good, the dark areas that you explore look good. Overall, this is just a very good looking game. All the models look nice, and Chloe, she's hot as hell. Let's just speed around some positives. The sound's great, the music's great, Nolan North as a god. And there's not really much I can say regarding those positives, is because, it's been fairly consistent with all three games. The sound just improves, the graphics improve, the gameplay improves, it's just getting better and better. Something that I didn't say in my previous two Uncharted reviews that I want to make clear in this one is that when you watch an Uncharted cutscene, it feels so rewarding because it's just so well done. The scene where you're falling from the airplane going into the desert, that is just kick ass. And I feel like, after all the shit I went through, killing a bunch of bad guys, it feels awesome. And I feel genuinely rewarded for seeing an awesome cutscene. Yeah, I could look it up all on YouTube, but I didn't really earn that, did I? And now we have the mixed aspect of the game. And unfortunately, the story isn't all there with me. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad story by any means. I like the scenes where you get to see how Sully and Nathan first meet in the first part of the game. And going up against the mercenary group you're going up against it. Now, unfortunately, I do have to admit that the story is pretty mixed, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad story by any means. I like the parts where Nathan and Sully meet in the beginning of the game when Nathan's just a teenager. That stuff is really cool. And seeing Nathan go on this journey to get his ring back is interesting. But the problem is that a lot of this stuff has just been done before in the first two Uncharted games. I can kind of forgive Uncharted 2 for being the same song and dance as the first one because it's improving on the first game. And there is some arguments to say that the first game is a bit generic, but the second game does improve on that while still having the same formula. And in this one, I don't know, it's just kind of boring to me, especially after going through these games one after the other. And this is going to segue into my negatives because I think the biggest reason why I wasn't attached to the story or wasn't feeling it was because that a lot of the new characters that you meet along the way are uninteresting and boring, and I could not care less. The new good guy that you meet and comes along with you, he's not really anything special, and in fact, if he died in the game, it wouldn't have made much of a difference, in my opinion. And the villains that you meet, while they're interesting, I don't think the game gives them enough screen time because, I want to know why they're doing the things that they're doing. Why are they after Sully? And what is the deal with that? Also, why are these people being led by some old British bitch? It's kind of weird. And even the returning character of Chloe and how she was so awesome in the second game, and she just gets relegated to a side character, and it's not even she was a main character in the second game, but she made an impact in the second game, and in this third one, she's just kind of there because the plot demands it. Now, aside from that, Nathan Drake, Victor Sullivan, and Elena Fisher, they're fantastic characters in this game, but a lot of the new characters that you meet along the way are just, they're not interesting, they're boring, and I was not a fan of them. Overall, Uncharted 3 is a really good game. I do like it, and I had a ton of fun with it. There were just some things that I couldn't get behind, and I wasn't a fan of the lackluster cast in this game, especially after the previous two when we had pretty interesting and memorable characters from those two, and then this one is just kind of bleh. But still, I do recommend Uncharted 3, especially if you're a fan of the series. However, I will admit, you might want to take a break before jumping into the third game, especially after you just beat the second game. And that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below on what you thought of Uncharted 3, and let me know, is this your favorite in the franchise, or do you have another favorite within this franchise? I'd love to know. Next up, we're going to be reviewing Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. And man, even though the third one was kind of a letdown in some ways, I am still enjoying this franchise nonetheless, and we've only got 2 games left. I won't be reviewing Uncharted Golden Abyss on the Vita because, 1, I don't have a Vita, and 2, I wouldn't really know how to record it, but yeah, I just don't have that yet. But if I ever do in the future, I will be down to taking a look at it and maybe I'll review it just to complete the Uncharted experience. But I will be taking a look at Lost Legacy after I do the 4th game, so look forward to that one. Big thanks to My Name is Doofy, Miasma Senpai, and Warp Bait for supporting me at Patreon. You guys are awesome.